What is your client's name, sir?
Susan Atkins.
And what, she has aliases?
Yes, Sadie Mae Glutz.
She's here for arraignment this morning?
That is correct.
What charges, sir?
On murder.
I collect things. This newspaper article is over 50 years old. It's out of the Manson family's own scrapbook, yeah? Like I said, I collect things, and this came out of the Manson family's own scrapbook. They collected articles among themselves. This was one of them. It's 2 pages, front and back. It's 2 different articles. One comes from the San Francisco Examiner, and one comes from the San Francisco Chronicle. They were clipped out and pasted on, and then they were detailed on what they were in the Manson family's own handwriting. Isn't that so cool? And today, I'm going to read them. Susan Atkins, in a dramatic witness stand confession, has declared it was she who stabbed actress Sharon Tate and used the victim's blood to scrawl the word pig on the door during a nightmarish mass slaughter. I killed her. I stabbed her and she fell, Miss Atkins said, and I stabbed her again, and I don't know how many times I stabbed her, and I don't know why I stabbed her. Dark-haired Miss Atkins, 22, her voice husky and sometimes tearful, told jurors yesterday that members of Charles Manson's hippie clan, 2 of them stoned on drugs, stabbed and shot the pregnant Miss Tate and 4 visitors. She also said she was the killer of the Malibu musician a previous month. I don't even know these people, she sighed incredulously as she vividly recounted the killing at the Tate mansion. She kept pleading with me, please don't kill me, and I said, shut up, I don't want to hear it. I threw her down on the couch. She said, all I want to do is have my baby. Tex came in and looked down at her and said, kill her, and I killed her. Charles Tex Watson, a member of Manson's clan, was described by another witness at the murder trial as Manson's chief lieutenant in the 2 murder missions, to Miss Tate's Hilltop Mansion the night of August 9th, and to the home of market owner Leno LaBianca and his wife the next night. Watson is to stand trial separately. Miss Atkins, the first defendant to testify in the nearly 8-month trial, told her story at the penalty phase, in which the jury must decide on life imprisonment or death for the convicted clan leader and 3 women co-defendants, of whom she is one. She told the jury she was under the influence of LSD and Watson was on the drug STP at the time of the slayings. The state star witness, Linda Kasabian, was the true planner of the killings, choosing the Tate home because she had tried to buy drugs there once and was burned by the people who took her money. Miss Atkins and not convicted Robert Bosley, 22, killed musician Gary Hinman a few weeks before the Tate slayings. She said, I did it for love because Hinman had threatened Manson. Miss Atkins said the motive for the Tate LaBianca slayings was to confuse the police who had Bosley in custody. To do this, she said, the group copied the style of the Hinman killings marked by the bloody wall scrawlings. She told of the car trip into the hills with Kasabian at the wheel and then climb over the fence into the rambling Tate estate. In the driveway, she said Watson spotted a car coming up and shot the driver, Stephen Parent, 18, who had been visiting the caretaker. The San Francisco Examiner, February the 10th, 1971, page 2.
Well, I understand there was the word political piggies was written in blood in the Hinman case, that the word pig was written in blood on the door in the Tate case, and the word pigs or somewhat of that nature was also on the LaBianca case. And so apparently
the story of the Manson family. You know, Susan Atkins has told her story at least 3 times, but the point that she tells it here. First, she told it in jail. Second, she told it in front of the grand jury. And then she would tell it again in the penalty phase of the trial. They said it was trying to save Manson. Who knows if the information was real? Who knows if it was a lie? Because later on, she would come on and say, I lied about all that. So some of the things that might add up, did she lie about them too? What did she lie about? What did she tell the truth about? This is a detailed article from both of those newspapers on the day that she testified in that penalty phase of that trial and what she said. Let's take a look at it. Pale, dark-haired Susan Atkins confessed to killing actress Sharon Tate and musician Gary Hinman yesterday in the penalty phase of the Tate LaBianca murder trial. The story of the 7 Tate LaBianca murders told from the witness stand by the 22-year-old defendant closely resembled the testimony of the state witness Linda Kasabian, except that in Miss Atkins' version, Charles Manson had nothing to do with the 7 killings. The bearded, long-haired 36-year-old convicted murderer did not direct his followers to kill the 5 Tate victims, and he wasn't even along the second night when Leno and Rosemary LaBianca were killed. Petite, pigtailed Miss Kasabian, 22-year-old mother of 2, offered the motives for murder. She picked the victims and directed the killers to the scene. Sexy Sadie Atkins not only implicated herself with her testimony, but she placed her co-defendants, Patricia Krenwinkel, 22, and Leslie Van Houten, 21, at the scenes of the murder. It was reported they will take the stand next to say that Manson is innocent. It all began, Miss Atkins said, in late July 1969 when Bobby Beausoleil went to Hinman's house to get back $100 or the pink slip on a car which the 34-year-old musician had sold him. Demand. Hinman resisted, and she and Beausoleil came back the next day to again demand the money or the pink slip. She said the 2 men fought, and she called Manson from Spawn Ranch to settle the dispute. Manson got the car's pink slip after arguing with Hinman, Sadie claimed, but Hinman pulled a gun and shot at Manson, who then hit the musician with something. When Manson said, "I'm splitting," and started to leave, Miss Atkins said Hinman went after him with a gun. She said it appeared Hinman was going to shoot the fleeing man. "I didn't know what he was going to do," she said. "I had my knife on me and I ran at him and I killed him." Love. I had no choice. He was going to hurt my love, and anybody that hurts anything that I love, I want to protect him. It was like I jumped on him, and the next thing I know, I'm back at the ranch. Hinman's body was found in the living room. He had been stabbed and cut across the left side of his head. Political Piggy had been written in blood on the wall. Beausoleil was convicted of Hinman's murder and sentenced to death. In the final stages of his trial, he blamed Manson for the murder. I don't know what happens in between that. I really don't, Miss Atkins said. I don't remember nothing. All I know is Bobby was taken to jail for something I did, and he was found guilty for something I did. And I cannot let him go to the gas chamber or sit on death row for something I did. Judge. Y'all can judge me accordingly, but you've got an innocent man on death row, and you've got an innocent man sitting in here. It's my conspiracy. Back at the ranch, Miss Atkins said she and Linda Kasabian and Leslie Van Houten, one of Bobby Beausoleil's girlfriends, talked about how they could free the young man. She said Miss Kasabian suggested that they hire an attorney for Beausoleil or they could commit copycat murders. She, Linda Kasabian, said if you make a lot of them, they will cut Bobby loose and everybody will go free, the witness said. I couldn't accept that right away until I dropped some acid with her and she told me to get a knife and a change of clothes. Drugs. On the evening of August 8, 1969, after Mrs. Kasabian supposedly gave the drug STP to Charles Tex Watson and LSD to her, Sadie said the 3 and Katie Krenwinkel drove away from the Spawn Ranch. Following Linda's directions, Miss Atkins said the 4 went to the house in which she later learned was 10050 Cielo Drive, the home of actress Sharon Tate. Sadie suggested that Linda might have picked that Tate house because her husband had been burned once on a $1,000 narcotic deal with someone in Beverly Hills and she wanted to collect the money to use it in Beausoleil's defense. Watson killed Stephen Parent in his car in the driveway of the home and they all entered the house, but the witness said at first she didn't remember clearly what happened. But after the mid-afternoon recess and after viewing pictures of the Tate house and the 5 victims, Miss Atkins testified in detail about the events inside the house. Heard. She told of herding Sharon Tate, Jay Sebring, and Abigail Folger in the living room of the Benedict Canyon estate at Knife Point. She said Wojtek Frykowski already was there, his hands bound. She said Tex Watson, Patricia Krenwinkel, Linda Kasabian, and herself were then all in the living room when the small man, Sebring, started walking towards Watson. I heard a shot, Miss Atkins said. The The two women screamed. The man on the couch said something, and I told him to shut up, and he shut up. And the rope went around. I think Tex tied the rope around the people's necks and then threw the rope over the beam. And Tex said, "Turn out the lights," and I turned out the lights. Floor. And then Tex said, "Get on the floor," to the people in the house, and they got on the floor. And they lied down, and they were crying, and they were saying, "Please don't hurt me." Each one of them kept saying, "Please don't hurt me. We won't hurt you. We won't call the police. Please don't hurt me. We won't call the police." Do you recall what happened after that? Shin asked. The man on the couch started to get up, and I tried to stop him, and he kept pulling my hair, and I was kicking at him, and I was fighting him. Like I was fighting for my life. It was like I never fought before. I going into something, but I never experienced. I could feel the knife. I didn't know what it was going into because he had a hold of my hair and he was pulling my hair. Run. And the man let go of me and he started to run. And I went to run after him. And then I looked over and Katie was calling help. She was fighting the two women, and the dark-haired woman, Abigail Folger, had hold of Katie's hair and was pulling on it, and Katie was fighting, and she called for Linda. And Linda came in. And I ran to the pregnant woman, Sharon Tate, because she was starting to take the rope off her neck. And I put my arm around her neck, and I had her head in my arms, and then I saw Tex come back and the man on the floor with the rope around his neck, Sebring, and he was stabbing the man. Miss Atkins said she dropped her knife, and Miss Kasabian gave her the one she had. Alone. Suddenly, she said, she found herself in the living room alone with the pregnant Sharon Tate. She kept pleading, "Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. I'm not going to say anything," Sadie said. I just looked at her like, "Shut up." I told her to shut up. I don't want to hear it. She said, "Please let me sit down." I said, "I'm not going to let you do anything. Just be quiet." I threw her down, held my knife at her, and I said, "Don't move. Don't move." She said, "Please, all I want to do is have my baby." I said, "Don't move. Don't talk to me. Don't say anything to me. I don't want to hear it." Tex came back in. He stood over, looked at her, and he said, "Kill her." And I killed her. Stab. And I just stabbed her. And she fell, and I stabbed her again. She put her arms up, and then her arms fell. I don't know how many times I stabbed her. I don't know why I stabbed her. There was nobody in the house. I remember seeing Tex hitting the big man on the top of the head in the doorway. Then he came back in and he told me to kill her, and I killed her. Then I ran outside, and Katie was just getting up from in front of the woman on the grass, Miss Folger. Before she left, Sadie said, she did one other thing. She took a towel, touched Sharon Tate's stomach with it, and wrote "Pig" on the front door of the house. And then we walked away from the house. So much fear. I was feeling so much fear, she said.
Are you relieved or remorseful?
Yeah.
I don't feel very well.
You don't feel very well?
No, don't feel very good at all.
Why?
Well, we don't want to go into any of that.
Where did she lie? Where did she tell the truth? Did she even tell the truth at all? Did she tell all the truth and then she was embarrassed about that later and then she said she lied? What do you think? Everybody has an opinion about this. I know you do. So just comment your opinion in the comments. You like Susan Atkins? I kind of did. She was a pen pal for at least 10 years. And I liked her a lot. She would always write back. And sometimes she was kind of snotty when she wrote back. And sometimes she was nice. She sent me artwork. She sent me all sorts of things. So she was pretty nice to me. And if you like Susan, watch the video here. And until next time, peace.